Hey everybody, it's Jaggy here, and yeah, I'm not gonna be talking too much, but I'm just gonna introduce for you guys real fast. So we're gonna be casting Eternal Midnight versus Chef Stallion, which is gonna be a pretty interesting match for playoff implications. Chef Stallion are actually undefeated right now with 7-0. Eternal Midnight are also doing pretty well, but if they lose this, they're gonna be in trouble because they are gonna play Jiro Jihad next week. And if they lose against them, then they might actually be in trouble in terms of getting third seed. But then, do you guys want to talk about the lineups real quick? If you guys are ready.
Are we live?
Yeah, we have been.
Oh, I didn't even know that. What's up, guys? I'm Nick, and I'm casting with Wally. And in my opinion, each team is probably using their best lineup today. CS is pulling out, who is it? Sapphire, Luke, Bran, Roy, and Act. And with Roy bagging, which is going to be especially useful for them. And Wally, you want to say EM's lineup?
Yeah, so EM has Alex, Haseo, Casper, Verate, and Serena. And EM's lineup is actually pretty interesting. Since the addition of Alex, they have been undefeated. So after dropping their first two matches to Chef Stallion and to Mogi Mains, they have not lost a match. So EM has pretty much gone on a tear, and while Chef Stallion hasn't lost, this might be the team that can actually put a dent in them. So it'll be really interesting to see how it takes off, and I'm looking forward to when the match starts.
Yeah, I definitely think of any team in Division 2 to be able to take down CS, it's probably going to be EM. These teams probably have a rivalry extending more than the playoff implications right now, because these are both the top two teams in the Div, but all these guys, Virate, Bran, Sapphire, Luke, they played on Valhalla together all the time, and when that ended up splitting, Derek went to EM and everyone else went to CS. There's a ton of history between these two teams. They scrim almost every single time they war. It's either EM, it's probably EM versus CS, and they just hate losing to each other, so I'm really excited to see this one.
Yeah, speaking of that that transfer that from Alex to EM, there was a little bit of controversy behind that. He was playing for Beyblade, and when he transferred to EM, Beyblade kind of fell apart after that. I mean, that's partially on them too, but at the same time, they kind of fell apart after that, so there was a little bit of controversy there. But yeah, EM with that transfer from Alex, it didn't save them single-handedly, but it boosted them quite a bit, because they did lose to Mogi Mains in week 1, and that was a tough loss for them, but after that they got Alex, and they've been pretty solidified since then.
And that first match was only a loss by 2, so really, yeah. I mean, it was as close of a loss as you can actually have, minus penalties or disconnections. So that being the case is pretty great. The other thing that I really am interested to see is, if you look at the two lineups, you notice a lot of names that are associated with bagging. So you'll see, Act, even Bran will sometimes go back for Wraith, Serena, Roy. A lot of these lineups are composed of baggers who can actually run pretty well. Act has been on point for the last while that I've seen him, and has been doing insanely well in the division. Is actually MVPing the division, someone who is known most for, I would say, bagging in D1 at the highest caliber, which is really cool to see. Someone who is, a jack of all trades, a master of none kind of situation. So really looking forward to see how he's playing, and just watching how Alex plays is going to be really exciting. So I'm excited for this POV.
Yeah, this is pretty much the best D2 matchup we've seen. And yeah, Alex, the transfer was a little bit sketchy because Council was told that that Beyblade was completely on board with the decision, and then we found out later that they hardly even knew about it. So that was a little bit sketchy, but it doesn't really matter in terms of this
Alex
match.
Was okay with the transfer, not Beyblade.
Yeah, I would say that's probably more accurate. This is definitely going to be a fun match, though. I'm super excited.
For sure.
This is Suicide, by the way, which I'd say probably doesn't... I don't think either team is super strong, and they're both kind of good at both. So that just means it's going to be standard. I'd say CS is probably the better trolling team, but Sui is equally good for them. I think CS does have the better bagging edge, especially the better bagging edge with Roy. Who's bagging for EM? Is going to be Serena?
Yes, Serena.
Yeah, he's definitely improved a ton with bagging, but I'd pretty much give Roy the edge to almost anyone when it comes to going backwards. So
yeah, I mean, Roy's an absolute stud when it comes to attaining the shock, and I mean, this is a team in EM who I would say is more heavily reliant on the shock than Chef Stallions. just because if you look at their roster, Alex probably doesn't rely on the shock nearly as much, but Haseo is someone who is always scoring either because he is dodging or because he just was in the front. He's not someone who's going to start in the mid pack and be able to go up. So I think it'll be if EM can get a lot of the shocks and dodge Haseo, I mean, he's going to score, but I don't think that's their path to success here. I think what's going to happen is they're going to have Haseo up front and then bring the other people up from there in one way.
CS is the last team that you want to get up in the front because they have several players who can schlag effectively. I mean, Brand, he's a hell of a good troller and stop troller. So if you get if CS get a top 2 or top 3, it's going to be really bad for EM.
Yeah, I think it's an important point to highlight, Wally, and it's also a good point that I think this not in a derogatory way, but they have Derek. EM has Virus, an excellent shot caller, and they just I think are going to benefit a little bit more from the shots. CS's top runners just like to get up there and schlag and stay up there. EM's really big on holding dodges and using them in just the right spots, so they're all going to benefit a little bit more from that. So I'm just excited to see how it goes.
Well, here we go. Right now, it seems that the track pick for EM is going to be Peach Gardens, so.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Classic bad spots track pick.
Yeah, it looks like there's a mix between that and BC3, so that seems to be theirs. And then CS going with RBC. I actually did not see the spots in the room, but I would imagine something like 145 or something coming in for Chef Stallions, and they do get the first track pick, so we're gonna see what they can do with it.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite war tracks. Oh, just a ton of stuff happens. Really big on communication. You can break away, but the shock is also huge. So we're gonna get started off with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the tracks that allow for the most creativity just in play style in general. So, I mean, it is something that you can easily front run. It is something that you can dodge and catch up. It's great for trap stratting and just making sure that you can hit as many people as you can with back spam. And right now, EM is off to a quick race. They had top 3, but they hit a wall. So
I'm not sure if Verls was intentionally slagging, but either way, he did a good job in that. They have a pretty good breakaway in first, which is important on this track.
And now with a bomb 3 risky throw, he could have utilized that a lot better there.
Yeah,
that was a really greedy throw.
These moments, these first 45 seconds or so of BC64 are the most important parts of the whole race and usually dictate how the rest of the race will go. You need to make that bomb a little bit more effective than that. Because now it's pretty much going to be a game of holding dodges in the back or going wide to avoid backspam the whole race. So CS seems to be 2-3-4, EM with a slightly less of a break than they started, but... Oh, blue, was that a blue?
That was
already
a blue.
Out? That's really good for CS. They're probably going to be able to combo him with at least someone get up there a little bit more.
I thought it was
super close pack though.
Yeah. This is what's gonna happen. You know, when Shock comes into this race, look how close that whole pack is. Even a mega dodge is taking you all the way to first at that point. But I really think that Alex needs to go ahead and chain this up here unless they do have Shock. So I would be surprised if he doesn't at this point, unless they do have the Shock.
Ooh, yeah, unless they have the Shock, I definitely would have chained there. So I'm assuming he's holding something, Haseo's almost definitely holding something, and so is Big Loaf, which is Sapphire. This is going to be a game of predicting, a game of CS trying to outsmart them, I guess, and EM trying to not use an obvious Shock, if they do have it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I see that someone has a Thundercloud up there, so, and it looks like Haseo got bumped.
Yeah, EM's bottom 3, so they better have it.
Yeah, well, the Star did just get used. And Sapphire's a little laggy there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's incredibly laggy. It's ridiculous. But it looks like CS has at least 3 spots in the top 4, so... Yep, and now they're probably going to shock him out of his star. Classic. He only got a... that POW sucked. I don't know if that was his teammate's POW or Sapphire's.
It had to have been Sapphire's, and that's a huge POW from him. Luckily, or unluckily, however you want to look at it, Alex did only get a single shroom there in 6th, so... not the worst thing to lose, but definitely would have made a big dent in this gap between him and 2nd. And
that's just kind of the risky run when you shock the other team in the boxes, which is what they ended up doing.
Yeah.
No idea what the spots ended up being. I'm assuming that was CS in 2nd, and he tried to throw a desperate Nana, but looked to be probably 1-3 for EM.
Yeah, and I think 2-4-5-6, I think for CS. So
Classic race. I guess it was a smart move to hold the Mega for that long, but
I mean, he dropped all the way down and was able to hit 8th. Like, I don't know. I think he could have risked it for a star or potentially anything else. I mean, a star would have taken him all the way to the cut, and he would have been able to keep his chain anyway. So,
not sure what ended up happening to Haseo. Oh, they were in first. That was good.
Yeah. Oh, so 1-4-5-6.
1-4-5-6. What is that? A +5? Yeah, +5.
Yep.
Decent start for CS. I don't think they got the shock, and I hope they didn't get the shock.
They definitely did not get the shock there. That's 100% an EM shock. I think the spam from Sapphire in 7th, but right before the shock happened, was huge to be able to get that POW.
Getting the POW, and I'm pretty sure he must have hit Haseo or done something, because he was definitely trying to schlag with that star, and that's the one thing about EM's strategy is 90% of the time if Haseo is not using an item, he has a star or a bill. So you can really easily form your plan around that and drop back, make him mad. There's a lot of strategy a lot of like mental strategy that goes into playing EM because their players have such defined roles.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I think that's really the only thing that is probably putting them apart from being a solid D1 team. I think for the most part, I mean, at this stage of the game, a lot of people's lines are probably fine and good enough to actually compete. It's just you cannot be someone who's stuck in one particular role, and that is probably the problem that EM is having, is that their roles are really defined and they can't, cover for someone else. Haseo is not someone who's really able to play the mid pack, and even at the front he tends to struggle unless he's in first. So
2 great tracks right off the bat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is a good spot here for Alex, having the shroom already, and CS only having a green shell. 2 green shells. He's gonna have to spam quick. He does not get it.
Oh, unfortunate. He can't miss that there with the shroom in second. He would have been gone in first, but it looks like, was that 2C? Oh my god, everyone fell off there for CS. Let them bottom 3.
That it looks.
And he gets a Mega in 5th. He's honestly probably going to stop and try and extend his team's lead a little bit. Or he's just going to hold it. They're really close green there, but this pack is already completely spread out in typical BC3 fashion. I'm assuming someone made cut up there with a golden, and they're gone in first. Uses Mega a little bit too late, but I definitely like the thought. And yeah, Alex's net is ridiculous. You are never going to hit that guy. But
he does have a star. Mega speed from Sapphire. I don't know, for the most part, I mean, this is just going to be kind of one of those chill races, I think, for a while. He did get shrooms, so he can take the cut now. CS did not unblock. I'm kind of curious about that.
I'm very curious about that. They must not have had shrooms or just didn't want to risk it taking it when they're all next to each other, but I would have figured the guy with triple greens was just going to run into it and then they'd be able to extend their lead.
This is really bad news for CS. They know how to slow down, so that's not the worst thing. But man, the fact that we are seeing 3 CS people and then they have EM throw the blue is really not a good sign.
EM through the blue, but he has more than enough time to slow down. I'm not sure why that wasn't called out to his team. He could have easily slowed down on the bumps. That blue was not hitting for a while. Alex unfortunately pulls a TC and not the best effort in terms of passing, but at least he's going to get shocked before boxes. This is going to be a huge part of lap 3 because whoever makes cut is about to get a really good race. Assuming EM's in first, CS second. So it's all going to come down to this.
Ultra.
Does fail Ultra, but he ends up making cut with the golden. Solid.
So he's going to be solid here. That red's not going to hit him.
Should be able to break this red.
He's got to play here for a 4th place box. Ooh,
oh,
nice
really close green, but
really nice wheelie hop there, and he didn't dodge it.
Okay, that guy.
That is insane, Sapphire. My, he just did not care. He's like, you know what? I can just drive straight. This isn't hitting me.
We can safely assume what's happening on Alex's screen is not anywhere near what's happening on Sapphire's screen. Either way, absolutely. I think CS got 2-3. EM probably got first unless Luke ended up dodging that blue. But typical BC3 race, the pack was just super spread out pretty much the whole time, and yeah, 2-3-5-6. Solid race for CS.
So another win there for CS.
Luke playing well so far. I'm still not sure as to why he didn't at least try and slow down. And I'm not sure what happened when top 2 just completely broke away. It looked like someone either stopped with a mega or there was some trolling situation or some slagging situation. I have no idea. But the top 2 basically broke away. And bottom 3 got a lot closer to the middle of the pack.
5 people failed to cut lap 1. So that tells you that, with only 3 other people, top 2 is probably going to break, especially since first can't take the cut. So
yeah, that race is an entirely different story if Alex makes the open cut lap 1. You got to take it quick, I know, and he didn't want to get bumped, but you just can't miss that. And then CS can't have 3 of their players falling off on cut, or however many did. I'm not sure if that was just poor coordination or if they just messed it up, but either way, not the prettiest BC3 race.
Mushroom Gourds being picked for EM, and TF seems to be the pick for CS. I like the pick for TF. You don't have RBC anymore, so having 1-4 is still solid. You can still squeeze them out by having 4th draft and going tight and having first place take the box. Really just kind of solidifying those early positions. What I would like to see here from CS is to not have Roy go past the boxes. EM's bottom 2,
I agree.
Don't give them a play on Shock. Don't give them a play on the Bill. Give them one chance in 9th, and that's it.
I think over-reliance on Bill on this track actually killed a lot of teams, because when one of your guys stops for Bill, and let's say another one of your guys gets a TC, now you effectively have 2 racers on a track that's really hard to catch up on, where you really need, and then they can easily just get hit by backspam, and then the race is just over.
Exactly. I agree completely. So.
Alex is not able to get the draft in the beginning, so he's going to be dealing with a mid-spot TF race, although pack is still really close. Luke gets hit out of a top spot there, but right now we just see CS in like 3-4, not sure who's in top 2 at the moment. But it seems to be a pretty evenly dispersed pack.
Star coming out.
Yeah, no one has Shock yet, so that's not a factor, although someone's getting hits on it currently. Did someone just fall off?
I don't think so.
Well done,
nice
and that was
there from Alex.
Yeah, good, smart backspam.
That's an obvious Nana. You have to avoid those.
Yeah, Blooper probably fucked him up on some level, or he just didn't adjust in time. But
this is a good pull here for Alex. I mean, he doesn't have protection, but the TC was seen, so hitting a box in 3rd there is really good. You can't risk that at that point. It looks like someone's got it.
Or he was just going to throw himself off because of Bill. I can't. I don't know.
He's going. Right he's going straight forward. So.
Yeah, so that'll probably be a huge thing.
So.
Oh, I guess it's probably Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if CS is top 2 or just 1-3.
No, it's 1-3 for EM.
Yeah. Based on the way Alex is playing, that would make sense.
And it does sound like EM has the Shock, so top 2 coming in for EM.
Yeah, that was weird. I thought CS had Shock, and I was a little bit confused as to why.
Yeah, I don't know why Roy was so far forward.
Sherman 3rd really ended up helping out Alex. It would have been a lot closer with him and Sapphire because of that, but Sapphire played it safe, didn't go for Shroomless, made the right play, and unfortunately Alex just had the Shroom to beat him out, and they get top 2-4 with Haseo dodging at the end.
My mic wasn't on OBS.
And having Sapphire not go for the Shroomless, I understand completely the thought process there. You don't want to get TS'd over, especially at that point you know that your team doesn't have the Shock, so I still think you got to go for it at some level to solidify your second. Giving up second and giving a top 2-4 over TM is a much bigger deal than going for it and forcing an early Shock and having your team able to predict.
Either way, pretty much classic track picks. They have top 2-4 and TF isn't in, so you're going to pick BC Wii. Pretty easy to front run on backspam without any worries. And CS is going to go with MG, classic catching up track.
BC Wii is picked. I think this is a situation where you want EM to do the shift over, so you can take the first place takes the middle box, second place takes the right box, and then your 4th place can also get a box. And then you can still kind of squeeze them out of items and even backspam everything immediately.
Yep,
it looks like he does go for it.
Yep, that's smart team play there.
Doesn't back immediately.
No, but Haseo pulls the draft, and none of them back each other, which is good.
Yeah, so they are holding their top 3 here. No one's really going to pass for at least another minute.
Yeah, and they
Someone
played
on
that
PZ,
beginning
yeah.
of that race perfectly. I'm pretty sure he pushed Alex into a wall well when he drafted, and he made him drop off a little bit.
Yeah, really solid stuff there from EM. They're not going to lose this now, at least for the time being. Someone's going to have to make a play from CS, or CS is going to have to get the shock.
Ooh, that's
Ooh,
not the way you want to say.
Or
at least
you know what?
it gives him
Someone's
the gives him the opportunity to slag a little bit. But I would have loved to see from EM there some double back spam coming out. That's a formative part of that track. You can really easily hit people, or at least force them to lose a lot of time going wide. Would have loved to see some tight and wide back spam coming from their 2-3. But either way, I think they're still top 2-4 or top. Ooh, that's incredibly unlucky. And he's gonna get comboed.
And, yep,
to
going
almost
all the way
eighth.
to last.
I'm not sure why. I don't know if Alex is trying to star him or what, but he just changed his star to get up there. And bottom 3 is completely separated from the rest of the pack. And smart. He's just using his gold to catch up.
I do think that EM has shock now, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. At this point, I can't imagine them doing anything but holding it until the end. So
yeah, I think. Oh no, I guess Lucas first, and that is incredibly bad.
Really
for CS.
bad for CS.
With two of the teammates already back there without shock, that's just a really lucky blue pull for EM. And then a golden in 7th. Verls was up there, and now he's back here, so Pack is at least getting a little bit closer. And he pulls the Mega in 5th. Holy shit.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, you can't really plan out much better items for this race, but
I can't imagine them not getting at least top 2-4 at this stage of the game. There's a blue. I don't
they're
think
definitely
it's
going to cancel.
You think?
I think they're going to. I don't know if it's the best play, but...
No, they...
Oh my god, you gotta use your Mega there!
You have the time, you can use it!
We're talking about Alex's items this race, but Act chains a blue to a really big bomb. Oh, and then the shot comes in probably to shock them into boxes, I guess, but it's not going to do a ton at this point.
No, but at this point, it's
playing for scrap spots.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets the blooper. And another bomb.
Oh, man.
He got bombed 3 times that whole race.
But
I couldn't really tell the spots. I'd imagine EM got a pretty good race there because at least 3 of them were in the top 4.
Yeah, and CS were 6-7. So even though they did win the scrap points war, they probably did not win the actual race war. So I can't imagine their other 2 were high enough to actually give them a win there.
Yeah, the blue coming from EM was pretty clutch, but oh yeah, top 2, 5-8. That's a pretty even GP overall, I think. I think EM probably took it by a little bit because they had the big race on TF, but
yeah, I think it was probably between a 6 and 12 point GP win. So we'll be interested to see what that looks like, and we'll know here in just a minute.
So far, I think I don't. The shocks have been what EM's gotten a little bit more, but it's been fairly even. Either way, that bomb that was top 3 easy if EM did have shock.
Yeah, EM definitely did have shock there. So yeah, if Alex just presses the item button there, he had enough time to react to that, and he should have been able to get that. If he's able to use it there, even if it's just you use it at the end, that's fine, like the end of your Mega, or even if you just hold it, I mean, that's still solid there. And you gotta hit the button, man. You gotta hit it, Alex. Come on, man.
Agreed. It's gonna be minus 12 GP for CS. So EM taking the early lead, which you'd say they probably deserve. Oh, is it 16?
130 to 114 seems to be the score for EM.
Gotcha. My mental math is a bit off, but
I would like to point out, do you guys have any trouble with the me names? I know you, Verls is Casper. I don't know if you guys don't know any of the other names.
No, I know. I just keep calling them by their real names a lot, and I realize the audience probably doesn't know that.
Yeah, so Verls is Casper. He has like a certain set of me's that he uses, so.
Yeah, I know that all too well. Thank you though.
Yeah.
You know what? Pretty much random track picks coming out just with EM sticking with Peach Gardens. I really like that track. Assume it's probably because it's very shock heavy. But CS is just picking whatever they want.
Moonview's picked. It looks like it was Roy's pick too. So
yeah, CS does have the better spots in room, so that's pretty beneficial to them. Let's see how this starts. You're going to look for Alex try to get shrooms or some type of item to just get up there really quickly. You're going to look for CS to try and back spam effectively and keep EM back what they can. I'm assuming someone's going to stop here for a star. I'm assuming that person will be Haseo. Oh, but he does pull a TC in 7th, but oh, I think Casper pulled a bomb immediately, which is huge, and Alex's lag shield again pushing Alex into a wall. Or Alex US into a wall. So he's going to get TC'd right off the bat. Are they bottom 3? Yeah, they're bottom 3.
Yep,
with
this
a
is
slight break.
really good for CS right now. The golden here is going to be helpful. They got to be careful here. The blue car is going to be here.
Oh, no, they're a little bit
just
fast.
a little bit.
But yeah, that was good spotted by you.
That's scary.
I'm pretty sure Verley is holding a star, almost 100%, or at least some dodge item. So he's going to try and get up there. Oh,
Alex.
Pack was close enough. He could have definitely got into at least second with that golden, but
yeah,
unfortunately forgot the car.
Worst case is third for sure, but I definitely think he was getting to second. Now Pau, Haseo, I don't know what he's holding, but he definitely changed something.
I guess not if they're using it, but he hits the obvious Nana, and I'm assuming he had to use that star to avoid a car or something. Didn't seem like he chained.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if any of EM is in this top 3 right now. I haven't seen Casper.
Oh no, there's definitely someone there. They're battling right there in 2-3. So I imagine that CS is top 2-5.
And the Mega in 4th.
Mega.
Cannot super tell who has shock right now, but seems like CM's been keeping out of top 2 pretty well.
Yeah, I believe that CS probably has shock on this race.
And they're probably going to wait for the last second to hold it, and Alex is smartly holding his Mega to predict that. Avoided the 144 bomb car. And
now he should use it here.
Yeah, he's probably going to use it right at the end. Which is going to at least keep him getting third. Yep. CS will get top 2-4 though.
Yep. Good race coming out for CS. Pulling the bill in 8th, always big.
Always big, not even just because the bill is a great item to have and a great thing to dodge up with, but that just gives the bagger so much information, so much more freedom. Basically guarantees boxes in 10th.
Especially if your bagger knows that they can just drive through every single box without the fear of the bill. There's nothing more freeing as a bagger than knowing that someone is holding the bill in the room.
And I think I would just like to highlight the play of Act there, because CS is starting great spots in room, and he knows that their big thing is dropping back to get dodges. By dropping, Act dropped back in the beginning there and went to 8th, and I think he probably ended up pulling the bill there, or at least prevented. What was more important is he prevented EM from getting items that they needed. From that, Alex pulls a single shroom in 6th when he would have been hitting a 7th place box. Haseo pulls a TC in 7th when he would have been getting an 8th place box, and they just are battling from the back the entire time, as opposed to getting better items to probably catch more up and preventing CS from breaking away. That was just a heads up good play from him, and he ended up getting 4th because of it.
Yeah, it's really underrated in how much the first box in 8th is of importance. If you are guaranteeing that you are not giving that box away to the other team, at most they can pull 1 star at the first set, and that's big. Guaranteeing that they cannot pull bill either, especially on a track that's already hard enough to catch up on. I mean, unless you're pulling goldens, and really you have 3 options to pull a golden in 7th, 6th, and 5th, but really your only reliable more option is in 7th. So that's a big play. It really just, again, it comes down to squeezing items out of the other team in any way that you can.
Yep, just classic strategies coming out here. EM finally does get their track pick, and they're going to be getting on Peach Gardens, which is their favorite track as far as I can tell by what they've been picking. And it's just a classic bad spots track. Alex is going to try and get the shroom in 2nd. Fortunately, he pulls a red, but Luke's able to block it. And I probably would not have thrown that if I did not think, or if my team was not behind me, because that just opens yourself up to get redded. But it's Peach Gardens, so nothing you do matters until lap 3, and if shock is in play or not. Although EM is in a spot right now. Actually, the pack is too close to really make any calls. They are bottom 4 though, until Alex got hit while slagging. Alex he's not Digloaf, but either way. Alex got triple shrooms, which is going to be obviously incredibly helpful. Saves you a ton of time, and they'll probably be able to break into CS's top 3, but not really sure what Verly's holding. And if they have shrooms in top 3 or not for CS, because if they do, that'll be brutal. Yeah, second and third take cut, and he might even be dodging that blue.
Yeah,
but
he still has the potential to hold one more.
Yeah, Alex so yeah, they just dodged that blue. Alex is in a huge spot now, and I believe Roy probably is trying to get a star to drop for his team.
Yeah, worst case scenario here, I think Alex can get second. So, I mean, he's in a great spot to be successful here.
Yeah, this is an important play by him. You really have to see him stay alive, use his shrooms effectively, not get hit by obvious back spam.
Yeah, at this point, I think they do have a single shroom in fourth now for CS, but that's it. Unless...
Ooh,
bump in there. Unless Luke pulled one as well. He did. He pulled one in second. And that POW, I have to imagine, is coming from CS.
Yeah. I'm assuming they wanted to POW it so Luke and Sapphire could take cut, but maybe would have been smarter to just forfeit that up and not let Alex take it at all. Either way. Oh, this bomb is going to have to be... Oh, the fib and hairpin.
Great fib.
That's one of the most unavoidable backstand spots in the game, and yeah... he could have pulled his bomb out, but he was going too slow. It would have just hit him too. That is a huge swing because he has a bomb in fourth right now with the potential to at least get one of them. Pretty like he could have easily gotten at least one.
Yeah,
but...
I can't imagine he's gonna get less than 2 there. So that's a huge fib there.
I wouldn't really put that on Alex as much, just because that's one of the most unavoidable spots in the game.
Especially a fib.
Yeah, and they were like. You could be mad at him for not playing it safe, taking it wider, or not even going on the hairpin at all. But in that situation, you're the only... If they don't have shock, which I don't think they did, or at least they didn't have any dodges, he's the only way they're getting a spot in the top 3. So if he plays risky and gets fibbed, CS is getting top 3 anyway. Oh, unless Casper came up.
Yeah, so CS did have shock there. That's just a solid race there. You're able to just front run. You have shrooms in the top spots the whole time. You're just able to really just put a stranglehold on them. And while that is a track that you can catch up on, if top spots are shrooming through cut, really that's all that there is. It's just that cut at the beginning that's going to save you time. You're not going to catch up in other places.
Yeah, CS did get a little bit fortunate with the shrooms there, but that's also what happens if you're EM and you get back there a little bit too much, they will eventually just... Even on Peach Gardens, you can break away because if you get shrooms in second and third, that cut is just so effective. And that's where being shock reliant, at least on that track, can actually come back to bite you. Because if you're not dodging, there's not a ton of great spots to catch up there.
That's a huge swing coming here for CS. Now they're up 16 points.
They were pissed. I know for a fact these guys really do not like losing to EM. So, and I mean, I've proven it. What are they up by? They're up by 32 this GP so far, 16 overall. And
yes.
They just 1-3-4-5'd on EM's best track. I still have no idea how Casper got up there, unless he was up there the whole time and I missed it.
I mean, he was not. He definitely came up at the end. I don't know in what capacity he was though. So,
assuming but it was just goldened up in like fifth or something.
Yeah, it was definitely CS top 3.
Or build, but I didn't see a Bill. Cuba Cape, pretty bland track. I know both these teams don't really particularly love this one, but we're gonna see. Yeah, Alex is probably gonna. Yep, he outlasted Digloaf in order to get an 8th place box, which is usually what you want here because it would result in a star or a golden. Just take this huge 3-way shortcut at the beginning. Doesn't take it super optimally, but he's still, barely ended up getting out of the grass there. And he actually is still going to be first. I think he bumped Casper a little bit, which was maybe a little... Oh,
ooh, man. Yep, you got to concede that.
Yeah, I disagree with trying to just tank one of them. I would have probably slowed down and try and gotten Act to backspam more of them. But at least he's taking them so his teammates won't have to.
Slowing down to make sure that he gets a 7th place box instead of a 6th place box.
Always smarter, and it paid off right there.
Good.
That's
call.
A really, really good pull, especially when 8th place is kind of inaccessible at the moment because someone's just way back there. So the only time you're getting a star is 7th, and it's even pretty rare. So.
And it does look like CS has the shock. Roy is moving forward.
Casper fails the Shroomba. That is incredibly unfortunate. And also, just a really big momentum killer for the race. I have no idea who's last, though. Whoever's last caught up quite a bit from what we saw him at the beginning of the lap.
Yeah, I feel like EM might be bottom 3.
They could be. I think CS is 2, 3, 4, 5, if I got a glimpse of that correctly. So Alex is pretty much the biggest player in this race right now. Like, what he does with the star is going to dictate how this race goes. If he properly predicts shock.
I don't.
Yeah, they thought he was going to. They thought he was going to TS. Not a horrible time to use your star, because even if they were going to TS, you just prevented it. But now, by using your power item, you've kind of given up that edge that you have.
Yeah, I think he should have just used it to go through cut. If you make it there, you're going to be in a good spot, even if they do dodge. But now all their dodges.
Now CS top 4. Or
yeah.
almost top 4.
And on top of that,
3.
you're holding one of the most powerful dodges on this track in a star. So there's having only 2 other limited there. I think it's not worth giving that up. So I think that was probably a bit of a misplay coming out from Alex. But
I wouldn't say it's a misplay because of the judgment call, but definitely suboptimal.
Yeah, I mean it's even if he has his teammate get target shocked, he's gonna hit a box in at least 7th. If he pulls a golden there, he's already back in the race.
It's okay because he got the perfect items he needed to salvage 5th out of that. But yeah, the thing about having a star, at least especially in trolling, it's more applicable. But in Sui Wars, is just that just makes you such a dangerous player. The fact that you have that, it means you influence the game so much. If you don't have a power item, you don't have that, like, you don't have the magnitude that a star has, in the sense that if he predicts their shock, that's maybe a top 3 from CS going to a 2, 3, 4 instead, and he can just influence where it's used. I have no idea how EM got top 2 there.
Yeah, I don't know how they pulled that out. and I see a message in the chat about the he would have been forced to use his star after the first ramp because of the POW. I don't think he would have been there in time because he barely got POW'd with his triple greens. I think he would have been up in the air.
Oh, I don't hate the shock. I don't hate the star use. I don't think that's a horrible thing to do.
It does at worst case save them from not being able to TS. I mean, obviously hindsight's 20/20 vision, but I probably would have tried to greed that a little more personally and try to make it to the shortcut and then use my star there just to try to gain as much time as you can. Or even
no
just
idea
chaining for a
how
set.
They got top 2 out of that though. They must have had like a. I didn't even see Casper dodge. I don't know where. All I saw was him get hit by the Shroomba and just like stay back there. Unless he was one of the guys who came up in a star.
Well, yeah, amazing. I still can't get over the fact that Ian was able to pull off top 2 when CS was getting the shock and dodge 2 people in stars.
I'm not sure if CS failed or something, but I don't know how that wasn't a better race. And if that was whatever EM did, that saved that would have been like a 30-point deficit. And they surely clutched up right there.
Yeah, that was kind of a must-win race for them at that point. Because if you lose that significantly, I mean, with only 5 races left, you're in a terrible spot to have to play catch-up at that point of the war.
Serena's been doing pretty well against Roy. Better than I would have thought.
Oh yeah. Solid job coming out from Serena.
I know for a fact that while bagging is very luck based, I think it's really, I guess, important, or there's a lot of aspect on the mental game in terms of, I think, just for the team and the bagger, if the bagger is able to be like, yep, I got unlucky, and just move on without dwelling too much on it, it helps the whole mood of the call. But when the bagger is just complaining about how luck based it is, about how much he's out bagging the other person, like no one in call wants to listen to you, bitch. It's just the most I'm gonna say. So,
and it's just really unfortunate because I mean the bagger's job is already hard enough as it is. There's so much pressure on you as the bagger, and if bagging is not something that you even enjoy doing, it's so much worse if you're feeling like you're getting outlucked in a sense. So
yeah, and I know for a fact Roy is far and away sick of bagging. That's the only reason I bring that up. And he's bagging in bullet bike, so. Anyway, this has lived up to the hype so far, at least in my opinion. This is a fun match to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
I really wish Alex had battle glitch on, so I knew it was going on a little bit more. But well, I guess we'll carry on. I'm assuming EM got their track pick, DSDS, pretty much a decent track for bottom spots. Alex is going to drop back to 8th, and that
box in 6th.
Proved to be a pretty smart play because, oh, wow, and 2 of them get bombed, and one of them has a TC.
And, yes, so...
Alex just dropped back, like we said earlier, to make sure that...
Sapphire making sure that he hits the 8th place box there. Again, the power of the 8th place box here coming in.
Oh, but then he got...
Oh, man.
I think he ended up getting a blooper or something, or nothing to take cut with in 7th, which is just a classic Mario Kart moment, but...
That feels really bad.
And there's no other track other than Delfino Square where you can have what happened to you lap 1, like what Alex had happened to him, getting bombed and starred, and still be pretty far in the race, because this track you can just cut off so much time with power items.
And holding these triple shrooms for the double is really going to make a dent in that gap between him and the top 3.
Yeah, it's definitely a smart use of your item. Hold that for the biggest shortcut on the track. I'm pretty sure CS is mostly up there, although I've thought that for this entire broadcast, and I've been wrong almost every time, so see what happens.
Yeah, CS is top 2-5 right now.
Ooh, triple reds is really good there, because if if Sapphire does not have anything to block these reds with, then he's going to have to drop back, which isn't the worst thing in the world on this track, but...
Interesting, he's not trying to hit him.
If he's reading him after the boxes, and that's smart.
He's never going to hit him after the boxes. There's no chance.
No, I think he's going to be able to sneak it away.
Nope, I told you, you were not going to be able to hit Sapphire at that point. Now you
I guess it is Sapphire. I forgot about how much his net is acting up. He might be able to get him here, and this was going to be huge if he can. Oh no, he hit a Mega, and he is dead. It had to have been an EM shot coming in, or I guess CS shot.
CS, it's definitely CS shot.
Yeah, that's what I meant. To just prevent them from taking Ultra. Or
and
double.
Dodging Sapphire and a Mega. This is going to be a big race here for CS. I cannot imagine EM is in good positions at this point.
Bottom 3 EM for sure, unless someone gets hit on... Hey, speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil.
And they get the bill in 8th too. I think CS... Oh, no, he's not going to get last. But
Maseo did not quite make it all the way up there.
Yeah, sometimes the bill drops here into a green. Unfortunate. But, yep, I'd say CS had that from the beginning. They didn't have it from the beginning of the race, but they definitely started with the advantage from the beginning of the race. If you're dropping back and you're not getting goldens and stars, and not only that, but you're getting TCs and you're getting 2 of you are getting bombed, playing the whole race from behind, especially when you don't get shocked, is just always going to be a recipe for disaster. Holy shit, CS actually had a good race, and we predicted them to have a good race.
That's because I predicted them to have a good race, all right? That's the difference. I have to be the one to say it. You can't be out here saying that CS is going to have a good race. Leave that one to me.
True. I jinx them every single time, but...
I'm going to come out of the dead for just a second. I'm going to bring up an interesting talking point. So Alex had a clear path to red Sapphire, right? In that last straightaway, lap 3. Do you think that they would have shocked early had he used his Mega?
No, I don't think so. I think at that point, he just loses his Mega. I think CS at that point still holds on to the shock. They're already in good spots.
Yep.
I think
CS is too good to fall into that trap of, oh, I had to use my dodge, use it, so you call bad shock. Then if you do that, you're just giving EM 2 full sets of boxes to get shrooms with in bottom spots. So Alex using his Mega there just means that, or Sapphire using his Mega there just makes, it just means that he doesn't have any protection, or he can't take the cut.
I even think at that point Sapphire holds on to his Mega. I think he just takes the red, and then he gets a better chain in 7th, and it may even end up better off for CS. But I think that you have to throw those reds when you know that you have a chance of hitting them.
Yep, I would say. I do like that was a decent thought, though, because usually reading him after boxes is much smarter, and if Alex or Sapphire maybe had better internet, it would have worked out. But this track is going to be huge, probably the most important 30 seconds of any track in the entire game. So CS doesn't...
Up to cannon lap 1 is the biggest part of this entire race. So if you're going to make a play into the top 3, you have to do it now.
Yeah, you're really looking on for EM.
Not gonna cut it there.
Was a smart play to go for another box, and yep, he does get the triple shrooms and does a pretty good job staying alive there. Don't necessarily agree with chaining all of them, but still staying alive is all you need to do right now. I think CS has held on to their top 3. I don't think I saw anyone from EM make a huge power play shrooming up. So now Alex is basically a solo man. Pack is still close enough to where this isn't necessarily over yet, but he's just going to have to spend the rest of this. I think Act just really locked off the track. Oh, I was about. Oh, yep. I was about to say you're gonna have to play the rest of that race just avoiding backspam the whole way, and if not, then yeah, he gets hit by a crucial green there and then pushed off by his teammate who had no time to react.
Yeah.
And now this race is dead man walking for Alex.
Yeah, unless he can somehow pull Bill in 8th.
Yeah, he'll be with the pack probably at this spot next lap, but it'll take a while.
Yeah, I think he needed to go for the shroom cut.
That's what I was about to talk about. Is the shroom cut is my if you get triple shrooms in 5th there, that is my favorite and in my opinion the best way to catch up on Rainbow Road. You should take the shroom cut. You have full advantage, or you have full speed. You're probably going to bump off some of their runners, or if not, you're going to disrupt the pack because once the pack kind of settles after the first 30 seconds and you see that CS is top 3, it's really hard to come back from that. Because then you have to avoid backspam the whole way. You have to rely on external factors like the blue and the shock. And if you can like get up there quickly enough to kind of disrupt that, make them have to like cancel their wheelies more often and stuff, that is always beneficial on this track.
I want to interrupt you real quick. I believe EM has shock here.
They definitely do. I hope they do. No way he'd be holding his mega otherwise.
Yep.
And they're about to dodge. They dodged 4 people in cannon, so either they got
2 were EM, so
yeah.
That was a huge slowdown for a long time.
And that's one of the luckiest things that you can see in Mario Kart is when the bagger goes forward in 9th on this track out of desperation and actually gets the shock. Looks like they weren't able to pass any extra CS members though.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Alex.
I'm assuming something happened in the top spots. Those probably shifted more.
Yeah, Casper got hit, so I imagine that top spots changed probably to at least 2nd for EM, but I don't think they got anything else other than that.
Yeah, that's that annoys me as a racer. you hate to see the other team go forward for that 7.5% chance for shock with no Bill in play. That's incredibly lucky. CS still held on to 1. Yeah, you called it. CS held on to 134. And they came out after the break, or after the DC, completely hot.
And with a 32-point lead before that race, and probably an 11-point win on that race, I think.
That was well played by... I'm not sure if this will actually change something, but that was well played by them to recognize that they did have shock, or the other team did have shock. I guess Roy probably obviously called that out to him, but they played it properly.
Yeah, they slowed down so much and gave first such a huge break that everyone stalled at cannon, and by just not going in at all, that's really a smart play.
Yeah, that's definitely like a 50-50 decision as a racer. You're like, do I slow down 2 seconds because I know they have shock, or do I just keep running and hope that it works out? But by slowing down, you make the other team have to make a really hard play.
Yeah,
and you just make it much more difficult.
And I'm surprised that sort of meta hasn't developed a little bit more, because what I would like to see is some teams recognizing that a team like CS is going to try to slow down and just have your top 2 people for the team that has a shock hop in cannon and then just get first out immediately.
Just be more like...
Be more aggressive in that, because if you have you 2 hop in and you guys are going to be the first 2, yes, they slowed down and they're dodging, but they still conceded their position to you.
Yeah, and CS has been picking this track. I totally agree with that. I would love to see more like meta shock strategies like that come out, but CS has been picking this the whole war, and they finally got it when they had good spots for it. So you're probably going to see Alex either hold this for a while or chain it to take Ultra on at the end of lap 1. Depends on how close the pack is, probably.
Yeah, I think if he's in 7th, he's still going to chain it. Maybe even 6th, it might be worth it. I don't know. Otherwise, he might just try to take Ultra with it.
Yeah, we'll see what he does here. Or he could... Oh, the random green actually probably is going to definitely lead him to change it, and that's unfortunate. See, that's one of the plays... He probably knows I call him out for this too much, but I really, really hate when racers drop behind their teammates so they get a better box and their teammate has to suffer.
Yeah, I agree. That bothers me so much.
That's just one of the classic subtle end-of plays you'll see a teammate, or you'll see a person do.
At that point, I don't think it mattered because I think his teammate already had a golden. So at that point, that is the play. But normally when you see stuff like that, that feels so bad if you're the person that's already so far behind and your teammate's waiting at the boxes for you to pass.
Yeah, he does get another Mega in the fourth, so he's in a pretty good spot with this. And yep, I'm assuming that was EM's POW or a really lucky CS POW. Not sure who has Shock. I think, yeah, actually, no, Serena definitely has it.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Roy does.
Really? It looked like Roy was trying to hit it out of him.
No.
Yeah, I was. Oh, actually, I don't know.
No, yeah, see, that's definitely CS's Shock. That was a prediction from EM for sure.
And then they get the blue right after. Good play by Alex, or heads up play by Alex to predict that. But I don't think they should have shocked there at all.
No, I don't think that's the play there from CS.
Yeah, that was really,
has the potential to be a
risky.
really good race here for EM. All they have to do is hold on.
Yeah, they're getting top 2 pretty much for sure.
Sounds like they've got some shrooms there. That's EM, I think.
Yeah, that's a real.
Top
I think
two, maybe
that was,
top
I think that was,
three.
I think that was top 3.
4.
That was a really, really, really poor shock.
And being down 45, you need that race. That gives them a shot here, and that's all that you can ask for at this point.
Luke has first on that track, probably if no shock is used, because the shock resets all the items, makes a chance of pulling blue higher. Luke's too good of a player to just straight up fail in first. With you using the shock, that just introduces so many variables. You dodge Alex. Your guy in the build doesn't really, like, he got let off so early, it didn't really help that much. They pulled a blue right after. Like, that's just not a smart shot.
You're not getting a lot of mileage out of that. I think you just, at that point, if you're CS, you just ride that bill out. Like, you're still going to be in the same spot that you were when you dodged anyway. So it's just not worth it to make the shock use for you there.
Yep. I think they also, I don't know why they had to use it that predictably. I think they could have easily pulled off like a weird shock, like shock Luke after he makes wall glitch or something. I think there might have been some discussion about that in call because he was in Bill for a good second or so before that shock was used. I'm not sure if he probably had to use it actually.
I think he was forced because I believe EM tried to stop troll him with a star. So he just hopped at his bill and then they tried to call the other guy out of the star. Whether it was Haseo or whoever it was from EM's lineup that was doing the stop trolling with the star. And now you're down only 28 EM with 2 races to go. That is striking distance.
Yep, that's huge. 28 is, I always say this in all my casts, but like if you're down by like 1 race, that's always a good spot to be in. If you can like realistically catch up in 1 race or realistically make it close in 1 race, that's exactly where you need to be. You don't need to be anywhere like closer than that. Once you start getting into the higher 30s and 40s, it gets a little bit more out of reach, but 1 good shock, 1 top 4, this is even.
And with their track pick, this is big for EM.
This is a big track pick. This is a huge track for breaking away. Great for 3rd. This is probably my favorite top 3 track other than BC Wii. Sapphire is able to break in there and cause a little bit of disruption, which is always huge. Just being up there makes everyone play this race way differently. And Alex doesn't get a box, Alex doesn't get a box, which is huge. Sapphire does end up getting wheelie bumped, but at least one of the CS guys was able to take first, and they played that first 20 seconds really well.
Yeah, now what's a top 3 for EM is now a 2-4 for EM.
Yep. Verley does get the shroom on the ground and actually pushes him off. That's a fantastic play.
Now, again, flipping the script again. 1-3 coming in now for EM. This is a good spot, and it looks like one of them's about to shroom up here and get back in.
Yeah, this is why Maple True is one of my favorite. Oh, and gets a bump from his teammate and ends up getting redded because of it.
Yeah, it's really unlucky. He definitely would have been able to make it around that corner.
Yeah, and now the pack is coming a little bit more separate, and he also has to play the catch-up game instead of being in such a power play, which he was for most of the first lap. Just chaining shrooms right now, pretty normal 7th-place items.
And it looks like EM does have the shock, so this is a really good spot for them.
Damn, Sereno's killing it, but yeah, so he's just probably going to cycle items and look for...
Bagging on Maple is really interesting because you'll get a position glitch even if no one like does that glitch where you're just always in 10th permanently.
So, Serena's got to be careful though because Serena's right behind the pack, so he might get bombed potentially.
He could, but I think he was just more focused on getting away from Roy. And the green hits him. I thought it was close in the beginning. I thought he was lucky to get out of that
I think
one,
you still get 2-3 here.
I think they dodged 1 of CS, but I think 2 EM is how that ended up playing out. I cannot tell who's in last. What I thought they might do is shock bottom 2 and cannon, but yeah, Alex getting green. Oh, and Casper ends up getting hit.
He got blued.
Did he get blued?
Mm-hmm. But
Lucky
now
from CS to pull that.
I think maybe CS is top 2 actually.
Can't really tell us in first. And yep, didn't go for an item, which I think is the right play, but he ends up getting redded because of it. Act does end up hitting a shell, but he got a shroom to recover pretty quickly. And yep, blooper in 6 last box. I can't tell because he doesn't have battle glitch on. Yep, bottom 3 for EM when you use shock on
and
Maple
top 2
Treeway.
for CS, so that
damn, we were just hounding. Yeah, it doesn't. Wait, was that second to last race?
Yeah, that's second to last race.
Yep, that definitely does seal it.
Top 2, 4, 5, 4.
Or it doesn't seal it, but they're gonna have to 5 run and make a miracle. And unless they did get top, if they did get top 2, 4, 5, then yeah.
I'm almost positive it's top 2, 4, 5 coming in for CS.
And I think that was
top 2, 4, 5, and 9. That seals it. I'm almost positive.
You can't start top 3 on Maple Treeway, get the shock, and not win the race. That's just unacceptable.
Yeah, that is unacceptable. And I know CS did have some great items coming in, and they were able to blue them after the dodge. But I mean, you gotta be able to hold your spots there.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they had to use that shock because they should have been. They should not have allowed CS to disrupt as much as they did in the beginning, and then ended up actually getting into top spots, and then like he gets bumped by his teammate. He maybe like the item transfers don't go as well. He didn't pull a dodge. Just it's the whole having to rely on external factors that makes it like you shouldn't have to rely on using the shock there.
Yeah.
Is my point. Yeah, CS is up by 51. So they can still get bonus point with a big race here, but CS is going to hold on to their undefeated record, and probably they're going to cruise to an undefeated record for the rest of the league, but damn. Do you think they deserved it?
I don't know. That's tough. I don't know that I would say either team deserves it at this point. So, I mean, there's been some really, really bad mistakes coming out of both sides. So, I
do think other than the poor shock on DDR, which it happens, I think CS has been playing pretty well so far.
I think CS has probably played better than EM overall. So if I had to give it to one, I would say CS probably did deserve it. I think EM had all of the pieces that they needed to win, and they just did not. And I think that's probably what the bigger difference is. Yep.
I'd say that. I think CS definitely took advantage of more of their opportunities. I think other than KC, other than KC, we saw CS finish out most of their races with really good races, as opposed to EM kind of crumbling at the end of a couple of them. CS did get lucky with blues on MT, I think, but either way.
It'll be interesting to see if they go all run here, if they go bagging, because top 4-9 will bag a -20 deficit only, and that'll give you the bonus point. It'll be interesting to see what they do, and they do opt to go backwards, so.
Yeah. I don't even know if they're thinking about bonus point. I just think they want this war to be done, to be honest. Because these teams are, I guess we can talk about this. These two teams are they they're not clinched top 2 seeds. CS is clinched first probably,
EM is
but
not clinched, especially since they play JJ next week, and JJ are right behind them. JJ are going to be 1 point behind them if they don't get the bonus point here.
And they probably won't, so.
Yeah,
JJ is going to be totally in it, so. But these would probably be two, even though this division is incredibly close, if I had to, gun to my head, pick 2 teams to be in the finals right now, I'd probably pick CS and EM. I hope it's CS and EM because these teams have so much history, and it's just, I know that players want to win so badly.
Yeah, Mega are, if they don't get the bonus point here, Mega will be 3 points behind EM. Okay, so Mega will be in 4th, EM will be in 2nd. And so that top 4 is really close, or the 2, 3, 4 is really close.
And then Mogi Mains and A7 are both bringing up the rear. So, I do think that the playoff implications from this, while this is maybe a nice little insight as to what a potential finals or playoff match could be, I don't think that any world that EM is at least not in the top 4. So,
I'm assuming they're still going to make it unless they have a collapse. But this ends their 5-game win streak with Alex, and they were not using Viraith in this match, right?
No, they are.
Are they? Are?
I think so. I I mean, he was on the rosters we were given, but I'm not 100% sure if he is actually racing.
I was gonna say, 'cause I didn't see the wheel.
Because I think it's what? Yeah, because it's Casper, Haseo, Alex.
And CS takes the gap at the end. Love to see it on MG.
Did EM get first anyway or no?
I didn't see, but definitely they did not get bonus point. And this is gonna look
Yeah.
probably a little bit more comfortable of a win for CS than it actually was, but EM kept it close to 1, and they actually had the lead into 1, and then CS just put at least 4 like pretty hefty races on them, and just ended up winning overall.
So
Which
really
I'd say was expected. I would have thought CS is using a really strong for D2 lineup right now, and they do get the top 3. This is gonna look really. The results are gonna look a lot less close to the match. Actually.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a little more skewed than what the story actually was. So I think it was just a great war overall watching, and it was a really fun war to cast. I do think that EM this was a lot closer of a match between EM and CS than what the score will tell you. So
yeah,
I agree completely.
EM did not use their best lineup, or at least in my opinion, I would assume Virus was in their best lineup, but. So I think it's going to be definitely a little bit closer just because of that when they play in finals, if they play again in the playoffs. But yeah, that's a tough CS lineup to beat. I think EM did pretty well, and that was really fun to watch.
One of the main factors for CS's win there is actually dealing with EM having shock. Like there were certain races where EM had shock and CS just responded very well, like in Rainbow Road where they stopped for like 3 seconds or so.
Yeah, that was smart by them, and it ended up helping them out a lot. Yeah. Just making their shocks less effective.
And then they were hard to get out of the front too. Like when they were in the front, they just kept it. It was really hard to get them out.
Yeah, I agree. Either way, that was super fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a good time.
Yeah, and I do think the match to look at for this division next is probably going to be JJ versus Mega, because JJ, like I said, behind EM now by 1 point. And then Mega behind EM by 3. So if Mega can get a win here, they'll be tied against Mega. EM, and then if JJ can win, they can actually overtake EM. So it'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and also didn't Mega start off the season super well, and now they're kind of crumbling a little bit. And
no, it's actually
JJ started 0-4.
No, okay. Here's the thing: Mega have been up and down. They've been a little lucky in a couple of their matches with their item luck, but they still got a couple of decent performances. One against CS, they lost via bonus point, but they still played well. And then JJ, they started off 1-5, but they got 3 bonus points out of the 4 losses. And all those matches they lost were pretty close, and it could have gone either way. There were just a couple of mistakes and also bad item luck on their end. So they're still looking pretty strong, and it'll be interesting to see what happens between JJ and Mega.
Yeah, this division's going to be super close. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Wally, you have anything?
Nope, not at this time. I think that was just an overall great match to watch. It was a lot of fun. And thank you everyone who came out to watch, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
See you guys.